Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of my NXT review. My name is Chris, as usual. Before I get started, I just wanted to mention a documentary that I saw recently. I believe Showtime airs it. It's Mauro Ronaldo's documentary of, it's called, what is it called? Bipolar Rock and Roller. It's about an hour long. It's like his journey throughout wrestling, New Japan Wrestling, where he's been announcing, and his ultimate journey to end up in NXT as an announcer. It's wonderfully motivating. Please, I suggest anyone interested check it out. Very good. Anyway, NXT from March 11th started with Keith Lee against Cameron Grimes. A lot of the match was kind of grappling and trying to Grimes trying to take down Keith Lee. Grimes did do a really good moonsaults and crossbody with his height. I mean, I believe Keith Lee's a lot taller than him, so the height and weight advantages that people have against Grimes seem to just not matter because he's a very versatile person. So I support him. He got booed a lot, probably from interfering with Keith Lee's interview last week. So, yeah, I guess he's just a really good bad guy now. There was a crossbody to the legs of Cameron Grimes, I believe, which I thought was pretty cool. It flipped him over, so like Keith Lee jumped, hit him in the knees, went, flipped over. Was really cool. He actually pulled off a German suplex, which is really cool. Moonsault blocked into a swinging. So there was a block for a moonsault. Keith Lee caught him. Grimes turned it into a swinging DDT, which is really cool. Shoulder tackle. All right. So yeah, Keith Lee changed directions of the rope, so they were going like this. He went like that, and then basically shoulder tackled him. Again, used his finisher, which kind of looked like it's like a DD. It's like a Death Valley driver into a power slam. So like, if their neck is here, it's like that. But then you lift them, and then kind of like an attitude adjustment or an FU, however you want to see that move. Carlton, you would know. You've seen it before. One of our crewmates is a diehard Cena fan, so he can see the differences in the altercations and everything. But yeah, I guess it is a Cena move. Moonsault back. They're kind of suggesting a Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic versus Damian Priest, because Damian Priest interfered. As soon as he came out, Dominik Dijakovic came out. Kind of a triple threat proposition match, which would be a really great match, just in terms of talent and overall appeal of all of those guys. Second match of the night was Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai. Mia Yim does a lot of the great rope changes, directions. She's really good at that. She seemed a little slower, but I think it's just because she's bigger and stronger. Raquel Gonzalez accompanied Dakota Kai, her goon, basically, that helps her win matches, but she's been losing a lot. Mia Yim finished the match with a code breaker. It looked like a code breaker, but she calls it to protect your neck, so she holds your arm and then puts her foot there and then just falls backwards. This one looked more like a code breaker because it was like that. It's hard to explain what she was trying to do. I don't know if that was a miscommunication between Dakota and her, but yeah, so her cheating kind of backfired. Apparently the Gonzalez character was distracting the referee. Mia Yim did some kind of move in the distraction and then pinned her. So the distraction that she tried causing to help Dakota backfired. All right. There was another TikTok apocalypse video where it says TikTok time is running out, and Kushina came out. So I was like, Kushina? Was this for Kushina, or is that just another trailer? Later on in the show, they showed the video again, so that disproves that theory, that it was just Kushina returning. It was Kushina versus Raul Mendoza, and Morrow described it as NXT Nirvana because those guys are really good at what they do. They're really fast, and if you blink, you'll miss almost everything. A lot of counters, a lot of like, imagine like an expert versus expert on the video game mode, but like lightweights. It's like counter, 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 flip, counter, counter. There was a suplex into a spinning Death Valley driver, which was really cool. So like picked him up, but then like corkscrewed it a little bit, and it's hard to explain because I've never seen it before. It was like a suplex into like an almost tornado or corkscrew, and it turned into a Death Valley driver. Kushida has an awesome back elbow, which is a Tajiri tribute directly. You know, like the bandstand backflip, back elbow. Kushida ended the match, which is with his avalanche Spanish fly that he turned into an armbar, which caused him Raul Mendoza to tap. Overall, that match was very entertaining. NXT does this all the time. They have a lot of the great matches are in the middle or towards the beginning. Not saying that the main events aren't bad or aren't good, but a lot of the main events kind of end up with like a lot of grappling and punching, and you know towards the end they'll do some spots and stuff, but it takes a little while for the main events to build up. All right, so from there, Rhea Ripley comes out. She was wearing a really cool Vultures of Humanity shirt. Really simple. I don't know if WWE is selling that now, but excuse me, very cool. Charlotte Flair interrupts, and thus the chance of "You don't go here," clap, 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 go back to Raw, was very prominent. She basically targeted the knee of Rhea Ripley. She figure four'd her in between one of the posts on the outside of the ring. And basically told Rhea, "You didn't even thank me for the match for WrestleMania because I accepted your challenge. You didn't even thank me." Charlotte's got great crowd control. She loves being a heel. It's evidently prominent in this episode. Unlike Grimes, who's probably a newer wrestler, couldn't handle the booing put on by Keith Lee, but Charlotte Flair thrives in it. She's just perfect at what she does. She grabbed the control of the crowd with a grasp of her hand. She literally was just like, and just shut everyone up again. So you can tell she's been doing this for a while. Definitely practice her mic skills. From there was a Walter versus Finn Balor tease, which is something I predicted a couple weeks ago. Something that needs to happen. Something that's going to happen, hopefully. Looks like a great match. They're both very talented wrestlers. I'm very glad they decided what to do with Finn Balor, even if it's just bringing him back to NXT, which, wasn't a failed experiment like Tyler Breeze, unfortunately. Tyler Breeze was in this NXT episode as well. He was doing a promo, and he looked completely different, wearing something completely crazy. But that guy that's, like, really young... his name. Johnson Reed. No. I can't remember his name right now, but he reminds me of a younger, faster John Cena, and he had a feud with Tommaso Ciampa a couple weeks ago, got thrown into the guardrail several times. I'm sorry, I can't remember right now. I don't want to waste anyone's time, but he's basically like, it's too bad, your conversion back here didn't really work. Tyler Breeze took a picture of him and was like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "Did you just take a picture of me?" He's like, "Yeah, because I'm just going to tag you Flash in the Pan or something." So it was back and forth, really funny. Back to a bunch of people in luchador masks abducted Raul Mendoza, threw him into a van. Don't know much more about that. Very interesting. They were wearing gold luchador masks. Pretty interesting. Tegan Nox versus Jana Perazzo. She has a Fujiwara armbar that's really cool. She can get it from almost anywhere, any position. Match was kind of uninteresting, to be honest with you. It was okay. I think they're trying to rebuild Jana Perazzo's character. Tegan Nox took a giant step forward, I think. her finisher called the Shiniest Wizard, which is a shiny wizard. Imagine Adam Cole's last shot, but in the facing you. She takes like another step and then elbows you instead of just jumping and having your knee out. Not elbows you, knees. With your knee, not your elbow. Yeah, so she does that completely different from anything I've seen before, so I really dig that move. All right. Number 8, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish versus Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, the Broserweights. Velveteen Dream interrupts again and says it's always been about the NXT Championship, and Roderick Strong is just dumber than he looks. Adam Cole interrupts him saying, you haven't earned it. You haven't done anything, by the way. You lost that match. Next week he's having a celebration to mark his longest reigning NXT Championship reign. Maybe by a few days. I think Finn Balor had it almost the same amount of time for maybe a few days less. Regardless, he's the longest reigning NXT champion next week, and they're celebrating it. So highlights of that match: Pete Dunne drop kicked Kyle O'Reilly in the knees, and he did a flip. It was like too perfect to look like it was fake. It was amazing. Kyle O'Reilly's one of the best sellers in NXT. He sells phenomenally. It's amazing. You can just blatantly tell it's almost not a 50-50. It's like I'll do this move and I'm gonna. And he's just really good at selling. So kudos to him. They kind of tried to give NXT a dose of their own medicine, in their words, by during the match they threw Adam Cole and Roderick Strong into the ring. Pete Dunne fell, acting like he got hurt. When the referee turned around, he looked at Dunne, he looked at Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong was like, no, you got to get out of here. And I love when they build up the referees now, where the referees go, you're out of here, and they go like, what are you talking about? Oh my God. It's really gotten funny because AEW is doing the same thing. I guess everyone that has a wrestling program is doing the same thing. It's very funny because it's great crowd reaction, and it's like a great interaction with the crowd. And it's a great opportunity to do so, which is awesome. All right. Some other highlights. Matt Riddle's senton is just amazing. At one point he was sentoning one guy who was here, so he'd jump to the rope, senton this guy, go to this rope, senton that guy, and senton's basically like flip your body, and he does it perfectly. He does it like where he's trying to push down, which is against senton to me. It's usually just like let your body fall. He seems to let his body fall backwards faster. He's a great senton lander on the Samoa Joe level. Samoa Joe's sentons are amazing. But, yeah, some other highlights. Kyle O'Reilly has apparently taken over the Dean Ambrose / Jon Moxley AEW rope counter, where he gets hit to the ropes and then he flings out and then comes back over. He's basically taken that move, I guess, since Dean left, which I thought was cool. Grizzled young veterans interfere. Nothing other than basically what we've seen before. Broserweights retain the championships. Last part of this episode, Tommaso Ciampa came out. Gargano interrupted him. Tommaso basically was like, I'm done with this. I'm going to come out to wherever you are during this interview. And of course, it was right backstage, so he went to a conference room, started throwing Gargano around. He said, we're not going to have it Tommaso Ciampa way. We're going to have it the Johnny Gargano way. And throughout the entire time they were fighting, Tommaso was like, oh no, we're going to have it the Gargano way until we're going to have it the Ciampa way, until Gargano sprayed Ciampa in the face with some kind of maid spray. Like there was a maid cart and he got some kind of cleaning spray and sprayed him. Thought that was pretty funny. They basically got onto the main stage of the arena, and Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano were on top of a perch, and it looked like one was gonna throw the other one away. Gargano eventually threw Ciampa eventually threw Gargano off the stage with his ending from War Games, which was really cool. And yeah, other than him, before that, they were in the weight room. Ciampa threw a weight into the mirror and shattered it, and that basically got Gargano to run out, and that's how they ended up on the perch. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of looping around. But that's this week's chapter of the NXT saga. See you guys next week. Stay clean. Wash your hands, please. Another public service announcement. The crew, Sharif, JB, Carlton, and I were all at the Elimination Chamber. Looking back at what's happening now, the NBA is shutting down operations. The NHL is probably going to follow suit. As well as any other event that has more than 2,000 people, it seems to just be a problem at this point. So just stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face like I just did. I'm close to a sink and I have hand sanitizers. You don't know where people have been, nor did you ever. Be safe, take this seriously. Hopefully the crew's cool. Well, we were just at a really big event with a lot of people. It was a lot of fun. But anyways, yeah, I'm just falling off the rails. Check out Mauro Ronaldo's documentary, Bipolar Rock and Roller. It's on Showtime. It's amazing. It's motivating. It's getting me to want to do these with more energy whenever I do this. Looking at yourself in a camera is kind of weird, though. I'll have to figure out how to use my camera and use it the right way so that I don't have to see myself all the time and I can just do whatever I want. Probably just end up better. Anyway, see you guys next week. Be well.